Estonia has requested a UN Security Council meeting on Monday after Russian warplanes violated its airspace last week. 3 Russian MiG-31 fighter jets entered the Estonian skies, without permission and remained there for a total of 12 minutes, the country's foreign minister said ahead of the meeting in New York. According to Associated Press, Margus Tsahkna said, "Such a provocation is profoundly disrespectful towards the collective and tireless efforts of the international community to bring an end to the Russia-Ukraine war and to restore peace and stability in accordance with international law." Russia has denied violating Estonian airspace. But tensions have been escalating recently, after Poland and Romania, both NATO members, said Russian drones breached their airspace.
On 19 September 2023, 3 armed Russian MiG-31 fighter jets violated Estonian airspace. They remained in NATO skies for 12 minutes, penetrating deep into Estonian airspace and covering nearly 100 kilometers inside Estonian sovereign territory. This is a dangerous escalation. It was the 4th violation of Estonia's airspace by Russia this year. 3 armed aircraft simultaneously entered Estonian airspace and were moments away from Tallinn, a NATO and European Union capital. We are here today because this incident concerns not only Estonia, but the entire international community. This outrageous violation of the territorial integrity of Estonia was preceded by Russian drones violating the airspace of Poland and Romania a short while ago. It is part of the wider pattern of Russian provocations against its neighbors, while a permanent member of the Security Council continues its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Russia's reckless actions represent not only a breach of international law, but also a destabilizing escalation that brings the entire region closer to conflict than at any time in recent years. Such a provocation is profoundly disrespectful towards the collective and tireless efforts of the international community to bring an end to the Russia-Ukraine war and to restore peace and stability in accordance with international law. Therefore, Estonia has decided to request the convening of an emergency meeting of the United Nations Security Council. We thank the Republic of Korea, presiding over the Council, for swiftly convening the meeting. We also use this occasion to yet again call on the Russian Federation to cease without delay its war of aggression against Ukraine and to abide by the obligations enshrined in the Charter of the United Nations. We call Russia to end all provocations and threats against its neighbors' sovereignty and territorial integrity. The international community must stand firm in demanding adherence to the principles of sovereignty, territorial integrity, and peaceful settlement of disputes. We should always call out such outrageous actions by any member of the United Nations, and even more so by a permanent member of the Security Council, entrusted with a special responsibility of safeguard international peace and security. Thank you all for this support. Thank you.
Yes, good to see you.
I'd like to welcome the new permanent representative of the United States, Ambassador Michael Wartz, to the Security Council. We look forward to working closely with you in the coming days. You have the floor.
Well, thank you, Mr. President, and it's very good to be with you and this esteemed body for the first time. Thank you, ASG Jenscha, for your briefing. And of course, I too welcome the participation of Estonia's foreign minister in this briefing as well. Colleagues, just 9 days ago, this council met to discuss Russia's violation of Poland's airspace with a large number of military drones. In that meeting, the United States urged Russia to end the war in Ukraine and stop actions that could risk it escalating into a broader conflict. Instead, on September 19th, Russia again violated the airspace of a NATO member when 3 armed military aircraft flew 10 nautical miles into Estonian airspace, coming within 15 miles of the Estonian parliament. And as we said 9 days ago, the United States stands by our NATO allies in the face of these airspace violations, and I want to take this first opportunity to repeat and to emphasize the United States and our allies will defend every inch of NATO territory. Russia must urgently stop such dangerous behavior. At a time when President Trump in the United States has been focused and spent an enormous amount of time and effort to end this horrific war between Russia and Ukraine, we expect Russia to seek ways to de-escalate, not risk expansion. This event, following on the heels of the Russian drone incursion into Polish airspace, creates the impression that Russia either wants to escalate and pull more countries into this conflict with Ukraine, or doesn't have full control of those who operate its fighter planes and drones. Either scenario is very disconcerting, given that Russia is obviously a nuclear power with global reach. And so I once again urge Russia as a permanent member of this council to uphold international peace and security, to respect the sovereignty of its neighbors, to cease violating their airspace, and I call on Russia to negotiate directly with Ukraine to end that war. I thank you, and I very much am honored and look forward to working with each of you. Thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the representative of the United States for this.
For 3.5 years, the world has witnessed a permanent member of this council engaged in the full-scale and unprovoked invasion of another state, a violation of its most basic obligations under the UN Charter. As President Trump and President Zelensky have worked for peace, the Russian Federation has starkly escalated its attacks. And we meet today now at the request of Estonian allies because Russia's recklessness is escalating. In the last 2 weeks alone, over 20 Russian drones in Polish airspace, a drone through Romanian territory, and now 3 Russian MiG-31 fighter jets with their transponders turned off, violating Estonian airspace for 12 minutes. At best, these latest acts are dangerous and reckless. At worst, they are a deliberate attempt to undermine the territorial integrity of sovereign nations and European security. They risk miscalculation. They open the door to direct armed confrontation between NATO and Russia. NATO's combined strength is unparalleled, and its determination to defend peace and security in Europe is unshakable. Of this, Russia must be in no doubt. And I commend the resolute and firm response of Estonia, Poland and Romania and all NATO allies. I welcome the launch of Eastern Sentry on 12th of September to ensure the safety and security of the alliance's eastern border, and I'm proud that UK aircraft are taking part. And to those nations and to all NATO allies, I say the United Kingdom stands in full solidarity with you at this time and always. And to President Putin, I say, your reckless actions risk a direct armed confrontation between NATO and Russia. Our alliance is defensive, but be under no illusion. We stand ready to take all steps necessary to defend NATO's skies and NATO's territory. We are vigilant, and we are resolute. And if we need to confront planes that are operating in NATO airspace without permission, then we will do so. The United Kingdom stands by our friends. We are unwavering in our support for the principles of the UN Charter, for our NATO allies, and for Ukraine. And we are committed to increasing the pressure on Russia until it ends its illegal war against Ukraine, ceases its reckless acts, and respects the sovereignty of other states. Russia's imperialist warmongering is a threat to international peace and security. It is a threat to the values and principles that underpin this organisation that has done so much to support stability and prosperity these past 80 years. We must counter it for the sake of us all. Thank you.
I thank Her Excellency Ms. Cooper for her statement.